Welcome to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast with your host, Warren Andrew Pinder, author and speaker.
You're listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. This episode is titled, Help is Wealth. We have all heard the old English proverb that says, kisses go by favor, which simply means that you will be rewarded for what you do. It also can be interpreted as saying that you're kissing up to get something, you're brown nosing, or simply kissing ass. But if you look at the positive attribute to sitting and trying to help another person, this is how we in turn receive our reward for being helpful. It starts with simply maybe helping an elderly person or helping someone seriously in need. We oftentimes would drive by and see a lot of persons on the streets reaching out with a sign, or we'll call it begging. But we truly don't know exactly if those persons are in need. I agree, there are scammers out there that live like kings from preying on other person's sympathy. But sometimes consider yourself as being likened to an angel that is placed to help that person. If that person is asking you for $1, maybe you give him a quarter that he has to work harder to make up that if he wants to go buy rum, a joint, or whatever. But let it be on his conscience that your heart is clear by what you have given cheerfully. See, when we help others, we are actually depositing into the universe where we would actually gain return for what we do. Imagine that the Lord himself has taught us to help one another. He has given each of us, think of it as a gift given to you by God, in which when you reach out to help, if you're not comfortable giving it to a person that you think is going to squander it, help through a civic organization, help through, just sitting down and asking a person, just giving a kind word, giving some type of encouragement. There's many ways in which you're able to help. Believe me, when you help, you're a wealthy person, because way down the road, these returns keep coming back. Do you think that when someone helps you, that isn't because of your human nature or of what you have done, or a person's thought or action actually returning that payback to you, what you have done for others? See, when we help, it makes us feel good. It makes us feel that we are worthy of something. Just think about all the things that you have done. You could just sit down and actually now say, man, look at all these persons who I've helped. In the future, you will be assured to know that somewhere down the line, it's going to come back to you, even in the smallest way, or your kids, or persons around you. How many times have you needed someone? How many times have you been sitting down and actually wondering where's the next dime going to come from? Wondering how are you going to make it through this week? I don't have any gas in my car. I'm driving down the street. Oh my God, my gas light is on. But you know what? You make it where you're going because someone reached out to help you with that. I'm not saying in today's world it's a bit difficult to be, extremely gracious and reaching out to someone. You see a person on the street, with a flat tire and you want to stop, but you don't know exactly if that can be someone that, has an ill mind. Many persons one time ago, I remember, used to flag and hike. Used to call it hiking a ride. But you don't want to stop because it's a different world. It's a changing world. But let that not discourage you from reaching out to help someone. I can sit and tell you so many things that I have experienced through helping. A friend of mine was talking to me recently and he was telling me how, someone had called him to give an estimate to repair a roof on a home. When he went to to give that estimate to assess the property, it was an elderly lady living in the house. And the house was somewhat in a bad condition. And he said to himself that, it's best that he tried his best to do what he could into literally the best price that he could. That, he got the job and he was working. And as he was completed, her son came by and literally spoke to him and said how appreciative he was because they were getting some real high estimates to have this work done. They really couldn't afford it. But he said he really, really appreciated it. And, he said if he could get his contact because he knew someone that needed, a good contractor to do some work. Well, would you believe that by him simply helping that lady, he landed himself a great job, a real profitable job. And that's how the universe works. That is how when we help persons in return, I'm speaking to you, the deposit that you're making into the universe, how it returns the same to you. So it starts with you believing that when you reach out to help someone, that system simply has to return something rewarding to you. Be mindful when someone asks. Don't look at persons and think that everyone is ingenious in their requests. You'll be surprised today in this time, post-COVID, and persons right now that is lacking in such ways that when they call you and they say, hey, can I borrow this? Or if you can't afford to lend all that they're asking, reach out and give something. Just offer something, because those people will remember. Now, I can tell you there are persons that they don't give one iota about what you're going through, as long as they're good. But the average person out there, sincerely, if you could help, I can say that it's in your best interest to continue to make those deposits. There are times that you may sit and be wondering, why are people continuously coming at you? That they ask you who do you think you are? You think I have, this a banking, or this something that I need. What you think this is? I'm full, or my face have something written on it. But yes, I can tell you there are people that look at you like that. I had an encounter walking out of the bank recently where, a young man sitting in his car is faced at the bank door, and persons are walking out, and he has this sponsor sheet about, he needs, could you sponsor him this or that? I'm like, man, you're right at the bank. Why are you doing this? You need a job. Those type of persons you have to watch out for. But legitimately, you have friends right inside. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the help that they need. You're not wondering. Don't think twice. Because if you're going to give something, it's going to be from your heart. You don't want to have to think and feel like, it's troubling you. I can't get this, but I don't have this, or they don't know what I'm going through. But believe me, if you were to think that if you had $1,000 and you were to share 10% of that $1,000 with somebody, and that person, that $1,000 would be $100 that you would help someone with. That person that has $100, share his 10%. That's $10 that's given to someone, and on and on and on. There wouldn't be any need for lacking, because persons would be sharing the same, mentality that would be granted to help other persons. So it's like just getting yourself into a positive mode of believing that when you give to someone, you can expect a return. And I guarantee you it will be. So that's why I'm saying to you that help is wealth. Because when you help persons, you're making a great deposit that for years and years someone will be there for you, helping you because of the things you have done to help others.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
We must begin to be our brother's keeper, and understanding that, it's not just helping your brother or your sister. We're all brothers and sisters under the sun. So when we actually begin to believe and act like we are our brothers and sisters, it should be easy for us to help. And in helping and giving a helping hand, whether it's just going out, and seeing to it that, let me this make my voluntary contribution to this feeding process, or someone, or organization that's helping the needy or helping youth. You're going back to school right now, and there are persons that may need uniforms. Someone in your neighborhood may not have it to be able to help their kids prepare for school at this time. You start thinking about someone that doesn't have a job. Just pop in. Give them $5 or something, however small it is. I guarantee you they'll appreciate it. I guarantee you. So begin to build wealth for yourself by helping others. I'm not telling you to give up what you don't have, but I'm telling you to try and establish a mindset that when you help persons, you're gaining wealth. This may sound, I'm not saying there's going to be monetary all the time, that someone can come to you and put $100 or $1,000 in your hand because you helped someone. But when you have that same flat tire I spoke about, someone may look at you and say, let me stop and help that person. When you actually need a favor somewhere that, you're going through something and you need someone to open a door for you somewhere because you're being so helpful. Someone may be right there that you would have helped somewhere down the line to open that door. And this is, this is just a system that it's just out there. Is to explain it, you have to believe it. You have to believe in your heart that by simply, if I reach out to help someone, somewhere down the line, someone's going to reach out to help me. I don't know if I'm making sense to you today, but I can tell you it works, because that's how I've seen it so many times in my life. And I'm sure many of you have experienced the same thing. So don't be so tight-fisted, holding everything to yourself. Because when someone is prepared to help you, what's going to happen? The same fist that you have so tight, you're going to be afraid to open it up to receive the help. And this is just, it's just talking about simple brotherly love. This could make the world a better place if we really believe in ourselves, that, we reach out to help someone. Look back at someone that's less fortunate than you. Don't leave anyone behind. You put your heart and your soul into understanding that God's purpose is for us to love one another as He has loved us. And the best way to do that is through helping one another. So I'm just saying to you, whether you believe it or not, the truth in what I'm saying to you is help is wealth. And those of you that help people, man, you're as wealthy and you don't know it, because for the rest of your life, persons will be helping you. And that's simply because of those that you have helped. In my book, I write about a experience that I've had on this same topic I'm talking about, One day I was just talking to a friend outside of a bank, and a young man walked up to us as we were talking, and he waited till we completed our conversation. And then he said, "Can I speak to you?" And I'm like, "You mean me?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "You know what, man, I need $37 to make up a ticket. I've been down here looking for a job, and I'm short to make up a ticket to get back home." And I'm like, "No problem." Literally, I reached in my pocket and I pulled out exactly $37. And I jumped in my truck and I said to myself, let me follow this gentleman to see if he's really playing me. Literally, I began to turn to go and follow him. But something just said to me, God, just show me a sign if this guy is really, if he's sincere about asking me for this funds that he said he needs to go back home. And I just left it, and I was going to buy an auto part for my truck. And I went into the store and I was being served. And as I was being served, I had ordered my parts, and the lady walked away to go to the back and pick the parts that I was purchasing. Another lady serving someone 2 stations down reached over to me, and she just said to me, and extended her hand and said to me, "You're blessed beyond measure." Her voice was so profound in saying this, that she left me standing there in tears, that the lady, when she came back, she said, "Sir, are you okay?" And literally I was like, I'm okay. I purchased the parts and I went out and I got back in my truck. And literally I started shaking. I'm saying, "God, you're so real, man." Like literally, I'm telling you all the truth. It's like a feeling that I asked him to show me the sign whether or not this person was playing me. And with less than 15 minutes, he showed me that sign. So I know what I'm saying to you today is real. I know it. I know that the help that you offer some people could be one that could save their lives. It could be one that stops someone from literally going out and committing a crime. It could be one that could save a marriage. It could be something that someone is asking you for that you don't know. And you don't know how deep inside they had to conjure up the nerve to come and ask. When you see a person asking you for something as small as $1, believe me, we must believe that when we help others, we're helping ourselves to be better persons. We're helping ourselves to dignify other persons. That they don't have to go. That person may understand that, this man really, he didn't have to do it, but he was kind enough. Just make them think that when they see you again, even if they want to beg you the next time, they can be shy or, too embarrassed because they know that they don't want you to think that they're a beggar. So God placed us all in different positions, different, walks of life. And, we must always remember, man, we have to help whom we can, and this is how, the world becomes a better place. Not when you get money, you remember that, let me give something to say that, this is what I did so my name can be written somewhere and recognized as I'm helping persons. Don't talk about it. Just do whatever you could in your little small way. And at the end of the day, it'll make you a better person. So truly helping other persons, it make you feel good. It gives you a inner peace, a feeling that, sometimes maybe make you even feel like I'm rich, boy, because I could share this little couple dollars to help that person. Don't talk about it when you do it. Do it from your heart. Do it from your heart. That same person, a rough guy may come to you and say, "Man, senior man, okay, you give me $5, I get something to eat." That's the talk on the street. But guess what? That same young man who you're looking with that all wrenched up face asking you for that $5 to give somebody may spare you the effort if he sees you and you're the target of someone trying to rob you. So be blessed in believing that your helping persons make you wealthy. Just understand what I'm saying. Help is wealth. You're depositing into the universe positive returns that you'll get for the rest of your life when you reach out to help other persons. You've been listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. It's always in taking action that you will achieve.
Thank you for listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast. We hope you were encouraged and moved to take action. For more information about Warren Andrew Pinder and his book, Achieve Men, visit www.warrenandrewpinder.com.